Where does it hurt? I need to tell you something. I've been struggling with how to fit self-care into my schedule. The first 2 weeks after I got back from sabbatical, I was doing really well. I was exercising every day, eating well, making sure I went home on time, and then life happened. This may have happened to you before. You make a plan, and it's funny how quickly the plan dissipates. Things got busy and stressful. My kids started school, the program year started at church. My mother started needing more support, and now I find myself feeling overwhelmed, trying to figure out how to get back on track with a rhythm that will support my long-term emotional health. So here's my question. How many of you just listened to what I said and started thinking about how to help me? According to an online article published by the Kaiser Family Foundation in February of 2021, quote, during the pandemic, about 4 in 10 adults in the US have reported symptoms of anxiety or depressive disorder, a share that has been largely consistent, up from 1 in 10 who reported those symptoms from January to June in 2019. It went from 1 in 10 to 4 in 10, with the difference primarily being that we're in a pandemic. COVID-19 has not only caused physical pain and loss over the last 18 months, it has caused enormous emotional pain and loss as well. Every one of us should have a response to the question, where does it hurt? Every one of us has endured pain of one form or another during this pandemic. And yet, like Pam said in her Peace Candle reflection last week, we fail to name the loss. We fail to speak it out loud. We fail to say where it hurts. I wonder if that's because for much of the hurt caused by the pandemic, there is no solution. Unlike the characters in this morning's Bible reading who had specific requests for healing, stop my hemorrhaging, heal my daughter, our pain can't be addressed in that way. Even if the pandemic were to be over tomorrow, the pain caused by the pandemic would linger on. And so we shy away from voicing our truth, our loss, our pain, our experience. We shy away because really, who are we to take up space for our woes when we all have woes? Have you ever had that thought, that internal thought, right? Perhaps it's our drive to fix things and only deal with that which is actionable that keeps us up from speaking up. Like in the beginning, how often do you listen to someone tell you about something that hurts or something that is hard for them, something that's going wrong for them, and you try to figure out how to fix it? We have a hard time standing in the unknown, the unfixable, the unactionable. So we either try to fix it or we don't name it at all. But here's the challenge for us as people of God who understand that God is with us. There is mystery in this world. We do not and cannot know and understand everything. And if we only ever talked about that which we fully understood, the church wouldn't exist. We would never talk about God because we don't fully understand. We are people who believe in divine spirit at work amongst us, people who believe in the love and the hand of God in our midst. And so we have to find a way to honor one another's whole selves, not just their actionable selves, not just the pretty and happy selves, but the whole self. As Pam said last week, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And honoring the whole self means making space for the reality of pain. Not all pain has a solution, but that doesn't mean that it's a shameful part of human experience. Remember the tradition of lament. Lament involves pouring your heart out to God, naming the pain, describing the experience, asking for something different. But not only is this considered okay in our tradition, there is a whole book in the Bible that is all lament. So, where does it hurt? Give yourself some time to really think about that question. Maybe it helps you to write things down. Some people it might help to doodle. But let yourself go there. And then be courageous and tell someone. If it's someone who's part of this faith community, you could agree to do a lament swap. If you're at a loss of who to tell, you can tell me or Jamie. This week, someone asked me about something in my life, and I sat and cried for 20 minutes while I recounted the answer to her. I could have just said everything was fine. How often do we do that? But I gave myself the gift of telling the truth, and she gave me the gift of listening. She listened and made space for me. She didn't fix me. In fact, she was pretty quiet. I hope you've had this experience before. But that quiet presence was transformative for me. Having someone listen and witness to my pain, just that was healing. She didn't have to give me a fix. She didn't have to strategize about all the ways to make it different. She just sat with me. We are all experiencing pain from this pandemic. And while much of our pain lacks a specific solution, a specific way to be healed, all of our pain can be named, honored, and given to God. And the impact of acknowledging our pain to someone other than ourselves has the potential to provide healing in a way that we never anticipated. Amen.